there's this constant level of attunement, right, that we're looking for. That's what actually builds psychological safety. So we've talked about attunement, so let's talk about not attuning. Let's go there. We're gonna have to go there. I wasn't planning on going here, but I gotta go here. Let's talk about it, right? Now, I love this show. This show's all about integrity. And it's tough, right? You know, when you get busted by an HR staff of 26,000 after calling in sick to work, right? So I didn't even know how I felt about this. So how many of you, when you found out, were disappointed? Raise your hand if you were disappointed. Okay. How many of you were angry? I mean, I have a talk about this, all right? I've been doing this for a year and a half. I've been building up to this. I have like a podcast. What would Ted Lasso do, right? So like, I was so disappointed. Where are my TED heads? Where are my TED heads at, right? Like committed. Like we were focused. We were driven. I got this shirt just for this, all right? And, okay, I got to turn from this because that makes me angry. I got to go back to this. So it was really tough. And I was just like, okay, what would Ted Lasso do? What would Ted Lasso do, right? Emphasis on Ted Lasso. And it was like, okay, how can I be curious at this moment, right? How can I not be judgmental? So I started talking to HR here, right? And I wanted to find out how y'all felt about this. And people fell into 3 different camps. There was the first camp that was like the justice warriors, right? That wanted like punishment, right? They wanted to shame. They're the ones that made this one, right? I talked to people that were like, I'm gonna go to the game. I'm gonna reprimand him right now, right? And then there was the second group, and this is why I love HR, that was just like, maybe we should put him on a performance improvement plan, you know? We should, you know, little PIP, you know, like you broke our trust, this is how you broke it, and this is how you'll build trust again with us, right? And then there was a third group that was just like, he can do whatever he wants, you know? You know, he doesn't owe me anything. Who's right? Out of those 3, who's right? Exactly, right? It's psychological safety. It's the idea that we all our feelings are valid. All our feelings are valid. And I remember this quote from the 3rd season that really resonated with me, where it says, I hope that either all of us or none of us are judged by the actions of our weakest moments, but rather by the strength we show when and if we're ever given a second chance. So just imagine if you did not judge people on their weakest moments. If you learn nothing else from this, right? If we just did that in our relationships, at work, what would change? What would be possible? So that was the first thing that kind of like really resonated with me. But then this morning, I changed my slides this morning, I remember this clip from, I think it might have been the 3rd season. So this is Roy Kent. Any Roy Kent fans? All right. So for anyone that doesn't know who Roy is, and we'll go through the show in more detail, but Roy is angry. Roy, the facade of anger, but he's warm in the middle. He's just such a warm guy. He's a really nice guy, but he doesn't show it. And he used to be a phenomenal player. Now he's like retired, and he's the assistant manager for AFC Richmond in the 3rd season. And he has to do a press conference. And it's one of his first press conferences, and he has to explain in this press conference why the captain of his team, Isaac, right before halftime, went into the stands and fought a fan. He has to explain this, right? And the press are like, do you condone this, Roy? Like, do you condone this type of behavior? And he goes, no frickin' way. And you know, this guy swears, so I'm not gonna swear, but this is basically, you can fill in what he was saying, right? He's like, no freaking way. And then they asked him, so why'd he do it? Why'd he do it? And Roy like leaned back and he said, you know, when I first started in the league, I played for Sunderland, which is a smaller team. And there was this veteran player on the team, such a nice guy. And he was about to have his baby. He'd been talking about it for months. And me being a cocky rookie, I decided to make a joke. So we're all at the pitch, we're all practicing, and he said, Well, I said, statistically, that baby's probably mine. And the team laughed. But this guy went ballistic, and he beat me up proper. Like, he gave me 4 stitches, black eye, 3 broken ribs. I was out for 6 games. And this veteran player got kicked off the team. And no other team would touch him. And when I healed, I bumped into him at a pub. And I used that opportunity to basically say, I'm sorry for my stupid joke. And he told me that a month prior to that incident, his wife and him had lost the baby. And he hadn't told a soul. And he's like, we think because we buy tickets that we can say whatever we want to players, right? And, we're human beings too. And I don't justify what he did. I don't justify his choice, but I show him love. I choose to show him love. So I'm choosing to show grace and love to Jason because I still love the show. I still like it, right? And you can choose whatever way, but that's my vibe, right? All right? So now we've addressed that. Now we can move on. All right. Woo.